Alright guys, what we're going to do with this 6HP19 is we're going to take the computer off, which is, the black plastic piece, because I do need to send the solenoids out. So I'll go over taking that out. You got to be very, very careful removing this. There are a couple of dowels that go all the way through the valve body, for line up. And you got to be very careful that this doesn't, crack or anything like that. Sometimes these things can be a little tough to come out. But let's remove the bolts. There should be 6 bolts that hold this thing together. Hold it on to the valve body, I should say. Okay, now these bolts, you're taking out the right bolts. I mean, you could turn it over and kind of look at it, but you're taking out the right bolts because they're longer. Like for instance, all right, this one goes all the way through and holds the unit on to the valve body, and this one holds the valve body together. So, if you take a short one out by accident, which is fine, then that's not holding the computer onto the valve body. So there's 6 bolts total. So we'll put those aside. Let me just put this back down. Okay. We're going to flip this over. Alright, so now you got a dowel here, and you got a dowel here. So this is where you want to pry up on, not like in the corner or anything. You want to get where it's, kind of anchored down. You want to be very careful. Okay, that's popped up. Okay, this dowel stayed in, this one actually stayed in the valve body. Okay, so this is it. This here that slides, this is your range sensor. Okay, your computer is here. Or on this side, the computer is right here. You got speed sensors here. And of course, the solenoids go all right here. So this one you want to put aside, put it in a safe place somewhere. And now, what I'm going to do, when I get these things ready to be shipped out, probably 3-4 hours. I'm going to take this hold down bracket off. I'm going to take all the solenoids out, put them in a bag, put them in a box, and ship them out to Erickson's in Connecticut. And I don't have to worry about losing any of the valves because they should have bore plugs, held in with bore plugs and probably some kind of a pin or clip. So we shouldn't lose any valves. And the solenoids we'll send out to be flow checked. We send them out today, they'll have them tomorrow, they'll check them tomorrow, send them back out tomorrow, and I should have them by Wednesday. In the meantime, I can continue on the transmission, and I can always put this valve body in later. Alright, so that is what entails taking the mechatronic unit out, or the computer. Alright guys, we got this ZF6HP19 Valvebody that we're going to open up. We're going to go through it. We're going to change the separator plate. and I guess put it back together. As you can see, the solenoids that would go here, they are on their way to Ericsson's Industries to be tested. And I have the computer right here, which is, you know, I set this aside in a safe place. Certainly don't want anything to happen to that. So this is the separator plate we're going to be changing. This is what it looks like. I kind of feel this is like a one-time use thing, because this is almost like these tracks here, to me are almost like silicone. So if you put these halves together and then you realize something happened, you got to take it apart and you tear one of these, you know, it's not like it's a gasket, but it's like silicone. You would have to change the plate again. So you certainly just want to give this a one-shot deal. So we're going to be installing this new plate. And also, anytime I build, let me just back out for 1 second. Anytime I build these ZF units, I only use a kit like this. This is genuine parts, original ZF, right out of the manufacturer. I will not use anything other than this when I do these high-end cars, the BMWs, the Jaguars, even Land Rovers. So that's what that's all that I use on these type of cars. Everything is OE. All right, so we're going to take all the bolts out, and then we're going to split the halves. Everything that we have to pay attention to of where it goes is going to be in this half of the valve body. So let's take all the bolts out. Let's see, these are 27, T27. Okay, these bolts should pretty much all be the same length. Last two. Okay, now I want to separate the half and kind of just flip the thing over and possibly leave the separator plate on the bottom half. So there's a couple of, okay. There shouldn't be anything in this one. These are pretty much just valves. Here is the separator plate, and of course there's many plates depending on the year and stuff that you have. So just real quick, to determine what you need, there is a number. Right here, this says B052, and I give this number to my supplier and he can identify what plate I need. All right, now here, I'm going to move this up here. All right, now we want to just kind of flip this plate over. There's a couple of valves in here I'm feeling. There's one here, there's another one here. There's going to be some check balls, some dampers. Alright, so we're going to take this, in case anything is sticking onto it, and we're going to flip it right over. Alright, then I usually just run across like this to make sure nothing was left on. Alright, well that looks good. Let me just back out so we can get a full view here. Alright, so now we want to mark where all the check balls are. There's a couple of screens. There's these, they call these limit valves. Could be for lube, could be for clutch pressure. So we're going to mark where all the check balls are with the center punch, and then of course everything's going to be flat sanded. So we have one here. One here. There is, looks like there's one here. Yep. Okay, then we're going to come down. We've got 4 more in this section. 1, 2, 3, and 1 here. Alright, we got 1 here. And 1 up here in the corner. Alright, so I'm going to take each one of these out, kind of laying on the rig as it goes on the valve body. Alright, then we have our valve. That's going to come out. Then we have a screen right here, a small screen. Here is the screen. And this is what that valve looks like, that valve and spring. Alright, so you know what, I can get rid of this. Here's that. Move this over. See if I can get a little closer. Oh, wrong way. Alright, now we got 4 valves of check balls in this section. 1, 2, 3. Alright, now we got another one here. Got another one of these limit valves, I guess they call it. Check ball up here in the corner. And we have a screen. Another screen. Okay. Let's move this down. And let's move this down. Let me just reposition this here. All right, now what we're going to do is going to take all the dampers out. These are the dampers, you know, for the A clutch, the B, C. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. And the way these come out is you have to kind of push up from the bottom. Okay, so I push it up, and then I take it right out, and that's kind of what it looks like. So I like to put these back in as they come out. Alright, I skipped over one. I didn't get that one. I missed this one. last one. Okay, so let's see. Here. This is on a little bit more, a little tougher to get this one. We need a longer. I have one. Okay. Okay. And I'll have to tip it up, tip it over, I should say. Okay, so looks like we got everything out. I'm going to tip this over, drain some of the oil, make sure nothing else falls out. Alright, that looks good. And then we'll get the last one out. Okay, here's the last damper. Okay. Alright, so now it's everything is valve body split open. I have all the stuff out. And so what I'm going to do now is just my regular routine, which I'm sure you guys may know. I'm going to take them to the sink, flat sand it, both halves, and I'll come back to the bench when everything is all nice and clean. Then I'll give you a shot of the stuff that goes in the valve body. I'm going to clean everything up, get rid of the oil, clean rags. So I will be back in a few. Alright, I got the valve body all cleaned up, ready to go. This is the half that everything goes in. So as far as the check balls go, we got 9 of them in this valve body. So we have 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, we have 2 filters. A large filter goes here. The smaller filter goes here. Then we have the 2 valves and springs. 1 here, 1 here, and the 6 dampers go there. All right, so what I'll do is I'm going to put everything in and give you guys another shot of this valve body. All right, let's we'll put all this stuff in while I'm filming. So let's start with the check balls. I got to kind of lean over. Here we got, that's 2, 3 there. All right, now we have the little valve and spring. That goes there. Here's the small filter. And that's going to go right there. Now let me see if I can actually come over on this side. All right, now we have 4 check balls in this area. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we got another one here. And we have the last one all the way up in the corner. Another valve and spring here. And here is the large filter. That's going to go right here. And then we have the 6 dampers. They'll just go back in as they came out. Unfortunately, these do not come in the original ZF kit, probably because, you know, they don't offer these small parts. You'd probably have to buy an entire valve body to get them. But there is, like at that company that I sent the solenoids to, I do believe they offer the small parts, because a couple of times, like, these things get beat up, these little plastic valves, they beat the plate up, and you may have to change those. So they do, I believe they do offer them, whether original ZF or aftermarket, I'm not 100% sure. All right, so everything is in place Now I'm just going to switch the camera angles. We're going to put this valve body half back together. So I will be right back. Alright, so I'm going to start putting this valve body back together. Now, here's the thing with putting this back together. There actually are two dowels, but the dowels are in here. There's one here and there's one here. So we're going to need this to line the valve body up, because you don't want to put this together, torque it down, and then you can't get the dowels in to put the computer on. So what I do is I like to put this up here. Okay, so we have that. All right, now we're going to put our new plate on. All right, remember this is kind of like a one-time use thing. I don't know, you know, like I said, it kind of seems like it's almost like silicone here. And if you have these clamped together, you got to take it apart again. You got to make sure everything is perfect. Okay, so now let's put this half on. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is just put like 2 bolts in, but not tight. And then I'm going to flip this thing over. And I'm going to have to put that computer in just to kind of line everything up again. Let me move more over this way. Okay. And so now we have the one dowel. This goes here, and the other one's going to go here. And again, you want to be very careful. Don't really want to force anything. Alright, so let's pick back up on this. Let's see if we can get this one in. Seems like it's fitting. Okay, there's that. And there's that. Okay, so now we got the dowels in, and so this valve body should be pretty much lined up. So I want to leave these in here, and I'm going to flip this thing back over. And let's put a couple of more bolts in. Okay. Alright, we got a few more to go, another 3 left. And I got one left. Up there, because it goes right here. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to very gently tighten a couple of these down. Again, with the aluminum valve bodies, I like to start in the middle and work your way out. Okay, let me get my torque wrench. These are going to do to about 85 inch-pounds. And I'm going to see if I can take this computer back off again. Okay. Okay, now this comes out fairly easy. So everything should be lined up perfectly. I'll finish tightening this down. I have to wait, of course, for the solenoids, which will be, well, they're getting them today. They're going to test them today. They'll ship them out today, so I should have them tomorrow. And then I will see if I can, you know, kind of film putting the solenoids back in and putting the computer back on. All right, now they're all done. I'm just going to go over them, make sure everything is tight. I don't leave anything loose. So again, you need the dowels to line the valve body up. I mean, you can't just put the halves together, because chances are when you go to put this on, if they are stuck in here, chances are it may not go. And then you would have to loosen the bolts, possibly take it apart, and you really don't want to do that, in my opinion, if you don't have to. Okay, so this valve body is done. Now I got to wait for the solenoids. And then probably, again, they'll have them today. They're going to check them today and ship them out tonight, so I'll have them tomorrow. So probably tomorrow night or the following morning, I'm going to put them back in here. I still got a ton of transmissions that have to come out, that have to be done. I got Hondas, I got 3 Fords, a couple of people brought me some of their racing transmissions to do. Alright, so this is it for now on the 6HP19 Valvebody until I get the solenoids back, and then we'll continue with the assembly. We will be back to finish this up shortly. Okay, so as we continue with this ZF6HP19 Valvebody, as I said, as a standard procedure, I send the solenoids out to Ericsson Industries in Connecticut to be flow checked because the solenoids are such a big problem. And I did that, and there are a total, in this train it is a total of 7, because it doesn't use this one because it's not a shift by wire. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right here. And out of the 7, 4 of them were no good. And when we say no good, pretty much what they do is they hook it up to a machine and they check the flow rate depending on how much voltage, or maybe, depending on, I guess, how much voltage or energy they put to the solenoid. I guess at a certain setting it should have so much flow rate, and if it doesn't, obviously it's no good. So that's actually what is checked, and I got 3 of them here that are still good. So for the price of what it would cost to get 4 of them, it was pretty much the same price to get a whole kit. So we're going to change all 7 of them, and these I can always save and possibly use for another time. Okay, so that was the result from Ericsson's, and they also send this chart, which honestly I don't know how to read it. I guess these are the maybe the milliamps that they put to it, and I guess this is the possibly the flow rate of what it should be. I guess with the milliamps, and the solenoid is new, that's what maybe that's what the flow rate should be, and this is what it is on each of the solenoids. So I'm assuming, for instance, this should be a new solenoid should have this flow rate of 70, but I'm not really sure what the number means, but I guess it has to match that number, and this had 63 on one, 63 on another, and 61. So, and these are the blue ones, so all these solenoids were bad on the blue ones. And yellow pretty much would be the same thing. I guess new, this should be what it is, and this is the actual values here. So, but again, I'm not 100% sure how to read this. I'm just assuming from what I'm looking at that's how it gets read, but they supply you with this as well to show you exactly what's going on. I had called up once and asked them how to read it, but honestly I forgot. Okay, so with that, we have a brand new solenoid kit here, and this is original, genuine parts. As I said, on when you're doing these high-end cars, I wouldn't use anything other than original parts. I wouldn't even use them if you gave them to me for nothing, because the transmission is just not going to work correctly. It's not going to work to how I want it to work, and it would just cause problems. So these are the brand new solenoids, all original equipment. We have the 3 yellow, the 3 blue, and the 1 black. And of course, what I did before I pulled these solenoids out is I used my phone and I took a picture of it, and I also wrote down yellow, blue, blue, black, yellow, so everything goes back the way it should. So let's open up this package. I don't know where my razor blade went. You know what? It's over here. Okay. So we're going to open up this package, and we're going to install the solenoids. We're going to put the hold-down bracket in, and we're going to put the computer back on. And that would be the assembly of that of the valve body. Okay, now they have, here's the blades that the computer goes into, and of course the computer is going to bolt to the back, so when we put these in we have to make sure that this part, the flat part, is facing down. Okay, so the first one in the first spot is going to be a yellow solenoid. Now these vary from model to model, that's why you kind of have to know you know, what goes where, so you should always write it down, put it somewhere. You know, I took a picture with the phone, but if something happened to the phone, then I don't have the picture anymore. And even when I ordered these from my supplier, he was asking how many yellows, how many blues, how many blacks, so it's very important to give that information and definitely write down the sequence of how these solenoids go in. Okay, so we have a yellow, a blue, then we got to do a yellow again. And again, we're going to keep that flat part facing down. Okay, let me just put a little grease in each of these here. Maybe make the O-rings go in a little easier. Okay, so we got the yellow, the blue, the yellow, now we need a blue. And also there's a little notch. Where is it? Oh, it's not on this one, but it's on the, oh, this one doesn't have it. Oh, here it is. There's a little notch that's cut out. That when you put the hold down bracket in, that will actually hold the solenoid in place. Okay, so yellow, blue, yellow. Okay, now we got to get two blue ones. Okay, there's one. Whoop. These things are slippery. Okay. All right, after the two blue ones, then we have the black. Okay, that'll go here. And then we have the yellow one. And then the last cavity, this one, is going to be empty because this is not an E-shift valve body. There's the E-shift, which is electronic, and there's the M-shift, which is manual. Okay, so now we have all our solenoids in place. Now we have to get our hold down bracket, and we got to make sure each of these are perfectly lined up so we can put the bracket in and put the bolts in. Okay, so let's get our bracket. Okay, this is what the bracket looks like, and these little tabs right here at the very top is what goes into that solenoid and kind of holds everything in place. That's why it has to be pretty much straight. Okay, that went in very well. All the holes are lined up. This hold down bracket pretty much can only go in one way. The other way, I don't think will fit correctly, or you won't even be able to get the bracket on. But what I do, I take note. There's a little cutout right here, so I kind of take note where that is. So let me just get my tools ready. So I'm just gonna pause it for 1 second and I'll be back in a minute. Okay. So let's finish putting these. These are T25s. Just run these in and then hit them with the torque wrench. Then we'll have to flip this over and put the computer on to complete the process of the valve body. Alright, so let's just run these in quick. I'm going to do these to like about 85 inch-pounds. Try to do it this way so you guys can see. I'm alrighty though. Okay, so now we have our solenoids in place. Now we're going to flip this over. And now we're going to put our computer on. Alright, so we got the valve body lined up. Because remember, there's two dowels. One here, one here. Then we're going to put this on and get it into the solenoids. And then put the, and also we have to get our manual valve cord on our range sensor. Okay. Okay. I actually just paused it one more time because over here where the slide is, there's probably some kind of, I'm sure there's magnets and stuff in here, and there was a sediment that I just wanted to clean off of here. All right, so we got to catch the manual valve here, and we got to put this computer on. All right, so you know what? Let me back out a little bit so we can get a little more. Let's see. Okay. All right. So now we're going to put this computer on, and again, this is all plastic, so you got to be very, very careful. Alright, move the manual valve a little, get that in place. And we'll push this down, get it into the solenoids. Okay, and that seems like it is in. Let me just go turn my light back on. And then we'll flip it and put the bolts in. Okay, so now we got about the 6 bolts that hold the computer on, or as they would call it, the mechatronic unit. All right, so now we're going to flip this, put it this way, and we're going to have one here, one here. Okay. These are probably 27s. I just want to draw the unit up so it's sitting flat against the valve body. Okay. Alright, now let's get the, this should be a 27. Actually, it looks like more like a, yeah, 27. Let me get my socket. Okay. Yes, this is a 27. Alright, so now very gently, I'll tighten these down, and then we'll torque these also. Okay, these will be about the same. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so now this thing is on and tight. Okay, so this valve body is now complete. New solenoids, overhaul the valve body, manual valve is good, it's caught, and the mechatronic unit with the computer and speed sensors, everything is good. So this is the final completion of this ZF6HP19 valve body, and I'm actually still waiting for the torque converter that was sent out. It was in, supposedly, when I called the guy last night, it was in very bad shape. And then this unit can go back in, and once this goes back in, being the fact that it has new solenoids, it's even standard procedure after the overhaul. I reset the adaptations, and I take it on a nice drive so everything adapts and the thing works perfect for when the customer comes and picks it up. Alright guys, so that's about it for this ZF6HP19 valve body overhaul, and I thank you once again for watching, and have a great day.